Howdy there guys, welcome back to Edgar TV. There's really not far to go on this season now. We've got today's Pro Tour, then 2 more events to go, plus the Europeans. The European Tour does count towards the World Championships, but it does not count towards the Players' Championships. The Players' Championship Finals is purely just those players off of this 30 ranking events that are in the floor. The European also counts towards the European Championship as well, so there's still quite a lot to play for over the next couple of weeks before we get into those big major events, but there are some big moves and some big things happening today across the games and some big stories developing. Let's try and find them pretty early here. In the opening round, there's been a couple to point out here. Jules van Dongen, statistically the worst player on the tour this year in regards to the averages. He's gone out again first round to Barneveld. He's going to be in trouble. Now, I know people were saying yesterday he's still got another year on his card, but you've got to do 2 years worth of work within that year. He's probably not going to be in the match play, so the likelihood is it's all going to be on next year's World Championship, should he be able to get there or get through one of the qualifiers. But the form he's in at the moment, you wouldn't think so. Ricky Evans, he's been in decent form, but not picking up a win there. He going out there to Johnny Clayton. When I say form, I mean statistically good form, because actually he's been playing well without getting those results. Josh Rock, someone who's now in the top 16. You think he's going to move on a little bit towards the back end of the year. Andy Barton's WDF World Champion, not in Ali Pali, not in the Players' Championship, and he's not got far left to go. There are a couple of big names, though, potentially missing out on the Players' Championship finals. Joe Cullen is down towards the bottom end. He's got out 6-5 to Robert Grundy, and he could be in a spot of bother. Mervyn King takes out the seeded Chris Dobie in a last leg shootout. King needs a run. He needs to be in Minehead. He needs to be in Ali Pali. Then he could keep hold of his tour card. So we'll keep an eye on him, as we have done all year. He is one of the players of interest. Ted Everts continues his resurgence. But one thing you may notice today is players winning or games being played with lower averages. Quite a few players winning in the 80s. I mean, look at Brendan Dolan winning 82 against a 93 of Adam Warner. So there's been a few more results with lower level performances, shall we say, today. Nathan Aspinall averaging 95 but going out. He is in trouble at reaching Minehead. He may not be in the Players' Championship finals at this rate, which is the top 64 players over the 1 year order of merit system. At the moment, he's in trouble. Jose de Souza, someone we said's been in trouble all year long. He picks up a much needed win, as does Kim Huybrechts against his fellow Belgian Dimitri Vandenberg. That is big for Huybrechts in regards to keeping his hopes alive of being in the World Championships, which keeps him around about the top 32 area for now, but likely to not be in that Belgium team. Michael Smith in danger of dropping out of the top 16 at the moment, but drop in the ocean. Drop in the ocean wins. That's what these are. When you win on the Pro Tour, when you're defending as much as he is, drop in the ocean wins. Not a drop in the ocean, no, for Simon Whitlock. He needs every single win that Simon Whitlock picks up is massive for Simon Whitlock, because he's not far off of keeping hold of his card, even if he doesn't make those major events, which at the moment it looks likely he's not going to do so. Michael van Gerwen, what's his form like? Yesterday's winner goes out in the opening game to Mansell. He'll be disappointed with that after winning yesterday, to then go out the first round on the very next day. So stories galore in round one, and big stories in regard to those players that have been looking in a bit of trouble these last few weeks. Star performers of the round, and they stepped it up in round two. We said the averages were down in round one, not in round two. Look at the 100-plussers. Good to see Jimmy Van Ski putting in 100-plus. He hasn't quite found his feet on the Pro Tour the way he has on other tours at the moment. Good win for him, getting through to round three, beating Brendan Dolan. That should get him going. Jose de Souza on the list. A 6-5 victory for him against the world number one, against the world champion, Luke Humphries. Big win, averaging over 100. That'll feel good for him, because he's been really struggling to pick up wins as of late. No surprise to see Vessel Nyman on here. No surprise to see Ryan Searle. Those two players absolutely flying in regards to the big averages on a regular basis. Third round action. This is your board final. And again, stories everywhere. Look at this. Mervyn King, 6-0 win over Jelle Klassen. The story here for Mervyn King is he now will be moving into a Players' Championship final spot. That guarantees him £3,000 if he stays there. He is not in by much at the moment. If he does stay there, That will be huge in regards to Mervyn King's season, because that will keep his hopes of retaining or keeping hold of his tour card. Still got the Grand Slam of Darts qualifier, would still have the World Championship qualifier, and he'll not be far off it as it stands, and he's still in the tournament as well, so he can still gain on top of that. So big run here for Mervyn King. Plazier reached 2 Pro Tour finals earlier in the year as a non-tour card holder. Could get himself into the top 64 this year and do what Christoph Ratajski has done. Do what the likes of Scott Williams did, which means he will keep that money on his Order of Merit. If he doesn't reach the top 64, he will lose the money off the Order of Merit. The run for Van Ski came to an end in the last leg shootout there, but look at Jose fighting for his life. I think he's going to be in a bit of bother soon in regards to his position in the top 64, but every single win is vital in terms of keeping him in a solid position moving forward. Michael Smith, same situation for him, could drop out the top 16, drop in the Ocean win again, but these all help. These all help in regards to his hopes and where he's going to be going. Mansell backed up that win against Michael Van Gerwen in the opening game. He had 100 average in the last round. He's done it again. He's on form today. Jermaine Watamena, keep an eye on him, because every now and then you get these sort of players that are playing well, but they're not quite getting the results. Jermaine Watamena seems to be one of those. It seems to be going out with 100 average on a regular basis. So it's not that he's playing bad when he loses. He could be one that comes from nowhere the back end of this year, wins a Pro Tour, and you go, where's that come from? I think it's one just to keep an eye on. That would not be a surprise to see Watamena in the winner's enclosure or very close to being so. Now, we very nearly saw the most ridiculous thing in the last 16. We nearly saw it on TV once. We nearly saw it here. Josh Rock, 9 darter against George Killington and backed it up at 180. We very nearly, so it's going to happen at some point. Imagine that, back-to-back 9 darts to win the match, and that's off the back of a 104 finish as well. So that could have been quite a period of time there for Josh Rock. He did go on to win the game with 110 average, 110.89. He's really coming into form. He's got to be someone we consider, hasn't he, in these major tournaments at the back end of the year. We know he's got the game and he's really pulling it through now. Mervyn King's run comes to an end at the hands of recent semi-finalist at the World Grand Prix, Ryan Joyce. That is an interesting one, but as things stand, King in Minehead. So a big day for Mervyn King, reaching the last 16. Wesley Plazier, he's on a run again here, isn't he? They're through to the quarterfinals, so he is in that position. He could reach the top 64. Now, this is not good news for people like Simon Whitlock, Jamie Hughes, Boris Kritchmer, because you're having someone come off the pace who could swamp them. He's in those big events at the back of the end of the year. That's guaranteed. He's going to be playing them. I've spoke to him. He's told me he's going to be playing them. He's not going to Lakeside. He will be doing Ali Pali. So that is an interesting prospect. In certainly way he's playing again over the 100. Jose, fair play. We've flagged him up. We've seen the issue. We've talked about it on this channel for the God knows how many weeks now, and today he is producing some quality darts, fighting for his life. It's good to see. So a good day for Jose, and that's certainly going to put him in good stead at the back end of this year, but he's going to need a little bit more, you feel, to get himself into a good position at the sort of rear end of the year. You don't want to be that guy that misses out, the highest ranked player to not be in the tournament. No one wants to be that. Jose at the moment is in danger of being the highest ranked player not in the World Championship. Now, he would be number 1 seed then for the World Championship qualifier, so he should still have opportunities beyond that, but you want to get into that top 32 Pro Tour Order of Merit system. At the moment, just outside, Mickey Mansell just ahead of him there. So he's in contention again going into the last weekend, that's for sure. And that is because his run came to an end in the quarterfinals. A last leg shootout defeat there to Wesley Plazier. What a day, though, for Jose. Big days for these players. Big day for Michael Smith getting a little bit on the board. Big run for Josh Rock reaching the final. He'll take on Wesley, who is in his 3rd Pro Tour final of the year. Wesley Plazier. I mean, the way he's playing, the standard, the players he's beat, you've got to think he's going to be winning one soon, but he's up against Josh Rock, who's been incredible. Josh Rock did survive a scare, though. If you take a look into the data here of Dirk van Dijvenbode, Josh Rock went miles clear early on. Dirk reeling 4 legs back, but then lost the last 2. That'll be heartbreaking when you reel a game back, when you get it back, you get yourself in front, you fight, and then you let it slip. But that sets up quite an intriguing final of 2 of the more informed players right now. So let's take a moment to dissect what we've got here. You see Jose de Sousa, the highest ranked player, not in it, but he's 1 place outside. Just over £1,000 behind Mickey Mansell. Robert Owen looking to try and keep hold. I can't believe James Hull's in this position where he's just above the water, because early on in the year was absolutely flying. Mervyn King, look at that. Only a couple of £1,000 off now, just a couple of wins. He's currently in the cut-off for Minehead, not far away. Steve Beaton's going to have to use the qualifier, you feel, £4,000, probably a lot to make up in just a short period of time. Andy Barton's WDF World Champion, a couple of grand off, so there's still loads to play for here on the back end of the year. Now, King Barry, the next player not in, so number 50. So yeah, there's not really that we're going to have too many big name casualties at the World Championship if that was going to be the case. Let's take a look at the Players' Championship race. Look at that. Nathan Aspinall currently on the cutoff, only ahead on countback of Nick Kenny. You've then got Joe Cullen, Rob Cross not too far in, so there's a lot of trouble. Jose de Sousa's got himself close now with that big run there. Steve Beaton just £1,000 away. That could be interesting. Christian Kiss, non-tour card holder, deep runs recently, big form player. He could get himself in. Jamie Hughes needs to be in there. Andy Barton's on his first year as a tour card holder, so it's not essential for him. This is the one that really draws my interest, Ricardo Pietrezco. He's challenging the top 32 at the minute. He's going up the rankings at a rapid rate, but it looks like he's going to be missing out on Minehead. Not been doing it in those floor events, not been doing it on the Pro Tours. Peter Wright, only number 50. That'll come down to what it was like at the start of the year. Check out names like Dom Taylor, players who could cause big surprises when it comes to Minehead. Connor Scott, someone you know that I'm very fond of on this channel, think he's got a lot of talent, going to be going a long way. So lots of intriguing names here, especially when you look at the likes of Rock, Van Gerwen, Humphreys around that 16, because there is no draw for this. So number 1 is Chris Dobie, and his first round would be against number 64, Nathan Aspinall. So, and that's how the draw works all the way through. It's not a random pluck them out. But the title, that's the big story. That has gone to Wesley Plaisir. Josh Rock had 2 visits. Well, he actually had 3 because he had the 1-2-4 as well. 3 times he approached the jockey with a chance to get the job done, but 2 where he's got 3 darts in hand, wasn't able to do so. Plaisir cashes in and picks up his first Pro Tour title. That is vital. Vital, because take a look at this now. Wesley up to number 67 in the world rankings post-World Championship. That's including his World Championship and his Players' Championship finals money on there as well. But that is a big problem. The likes of Whitlock, Critchmar, Hughes, those players try and defend those tour cards, now in big trouble. You got Ryan Meikle just outside in both. Mervyn King's becoming a problem to those players. Robert Owen could become a problem to them. We've still got the qualifiers to go. There are problems galore. Dom Taylor, a player who could come through. Connor Scott, another guy, he's in the Grand Slam as well. So there's real big problems. Now we know Steve Beaton's handing his card back, so it's probably going to drop down 1 further place. So Whitlock's not quite as much danger at the moment as maybe we thought he was originally with that extra spot, but he's in trouble. 2 Pro Tours left, which means the extra win now for Wesley Plaisir doesn't quite cash in the same. So Wesley Plaisir now is the number 1 player who tops up. So if you win a Pro Tour and you are not a tour card holder, you become number 1. And if you win the first one, it doesn't matter what happens on the Challenge Tour. You could stop going all year. You will be number 1 top-up player if you win a Pro Tour. This is the old Christoph Ratajski rule. Now, this is good for Plaisir because it means that he could get in the Grand Prix next year now. He's in a good position for that. Puts him close towards getting in the match play. But he has to reach the top 64. If he does not reach the top 64, he will lose all this money and he starts from 0. The Radak Skagansky rule, the Keegan Brown rule. So his top 64 now is vital for Wesley Plaisir. He's got 2 Pro Tours left. He's got the Players' Championship finals. He's got the World Championships. He'll try and get in the Grand Slam. His only way of doing that is topping the Challenger Order of Merit. So a lot of eyes to be kept on Wesley Palacio at the back end of this year, but for now, he's a Pro Tour winner. Just a shame he can't really use it to cash it in. And the 2 finals that he had, also, the timing of it's just not worked out well for him, has it? In the fact that they're not going to help him get into those other big events. But great year for Palacio, big step forward. We'll see how he gets on at the back end of the year. Let me know your big stories from today down in the comment section. I'll be down there talking to you, and I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV.